Alright, welcome back to Board Watch. I am Brian.
I'm Joey.
Still kind of reeling.
Still in left field right now.
We haven't had quite enough time, but...
There's a space, there he was.
Ned's face. Yeah. Anyway, movie lover fan 18 would like to know how you think Cersei is going to react to Jaime's capture.
Oh, she's done. Good for her. No, she's gonna lose her mind, which is great. And she's already realizing she's not in control because she can't control Joffrey. And so she's gonna realize that she's A, losing power over Joffrey, and B, now has Rob has Jaime in custody, so she's gonna feel completely out of power and probably make a rash decision, and probably, maybe, and what I'm hoping is somehow they can push a power play into her leaving with, like Ned tried to do originally, and she can like flee to her father, and then they kind of control, and then it'll be like the Lannisters versus the Kingdom. I'm hoping. Or she just stays. And I really did not think that she was going to be able to take the throne over Ned originally either. So, like, even Joffrey getting into power this early was a huge surprise to me. So, again, she could somehow then work her way into staying there. But I'm hoping that with Jaime being captured, that's the perfect power play for Rob to have just enough to be able to take over. As long as the Lannisters don't go to the Kingdom first. Because I feel like that'll be the only, like... If Tywin was able to get to... King's Landing before Rob did, and like was able to like control that, then I feel like that might change things. Okay. But
and Allie Rhodes wants to know which character you want to grow fond of, like someone that you might be kind of like middle of the road on, or that you might not like, but you want to like them.
I would. Okay, so before this episode, I can't say that anymore because I do like him now. But I was gonna say Rob, because Rob I kind of wanted to like. I really wanted to like, but I just didn't really see it yet. And now I already like him, so I guess earlier I would have said that. It sucks because I'm gonna be real here. It sucks because like there's a part of Jaime that I do like. And part of me wishes that I did like Jaime. I obviously don't like Jaime. Right. So I guess my best answer now would be Jaime from a person that I don't like to like. And there's nobody who really sits in the middle of the road for me right now. I have a pretty good feel about like everyone so far, and like I either don't like them or I like them. There's not really anybody that I'm on the fence about right now. So I would say out of all the people I don't like...
Littlefinger? He was your number one, and then within the same episode...
I'm not forming any opinions on Littlefinger or Varys, because I'm realizing very quickly that those guys are wish-washy on everyone, and so I guess they sit firmly on the fence, and they're not moving from that fence because I don't trust them, and when you don't trust somebody, you don't like them or dislike them. So, but I would say people that I dislike, I would say Jaime, because I really don't like Cersei, and I feel like she's even more so evil than Jaime, and like the main.
And Jeremiah Connor wants to point out some foreshadowing from the very first episode.
Oh God! Is it something about the direwolf and the stag?
Yeah, with the stag and the direwolf killing each other. Ned Stark and
No, I'm saying, but where was the foreshadowing?
Well, it was like Robert Baratheon died, Ned Stark died, and technically Joffrey is a Baratheon that killed Ned.
No, I meant, but where was the first episode foreshadowing what happened?
Remember how I was talking about Bambi's mom being dead?
Oh yeah, that's right. Because the stag. Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. And they killed each other because it was like on each. Oh wow. Wow, I gotta start looking for that. I like those. They're just so good at those little like foreshadowing things. Yeah. And then the skinning of the stag by the lion, Tywin.
And same person, Jeremiah Connor, wants to know that if Ned could do everything over again, would he do anything different?
Oh God, yeah. I feel like Ned would have left immediately when he should have left. I feel like Ned would have probably told Robert about the fact that that's not his actual son, and I feel like he would have stayed and thought differently. I don't feel like he would have rolled over as easily as he rolled over, and I feel like he should have handled that situation. Obviously, he wouldn't have trusted Littlefinger, and so I'm still curious to see where Littlefinger lies in all this and how he and his role in this, and it's obvious right now that Varys is completely for Cersei, or at least his intentions and his motives are at the moment, even though he said he's for the people and for peace.
For peace, for the good of the realm.
For the good of the realm. I mean, the only motive that I've heard come out of his mouth so far has been for Cersei, and whoever her motive is for.
And, Raina Phelan wants to know who is most at fault for Ned's death. Was it Robert Baratheon for asking Ned to come down? Was it Catelyn Stark for taking Tyrion hostage? Was it there's so many things.
It's a web. Who is most so many?
Because everything that happened this season was leading towards Ned's death.
Yeah, who's at most fault? Joffrey. I'm going to end that discussion right now. Whoever pulls the trigger is at most death. I don't care. You could say who sold the gun to the person, who built the gun.
Well, Sir Ellen Payne is the one that actually...
yeah, that's a good point. Okay, whoever called to pull the gun, because it was still at the very end, even to everyone else's...
Yeah, they were saying, let him go to the watch.
Let him go to the watch, which would have been such a cool... And Ned going to the watch, I was so pumped for that. I was like, no way, this is what's going to happen. They're going to fight the White House. I was literally ripped out of... I was so excited for him being with Jon Snow again, and maybe he and him becoming the leader over there, and that... And then somehow, I don't know, I was going down that path hard.
So just straight up just Joffrey.
Joffrey is 100% the most responsible for that. But then you have to argue, because then Cersei is the one who is his mom, and so is she not responsible for how he came out as a child? So actually, you know what? I'm going to switch that. You're right. Let's give some innocence to the child. He's still a child. It's Cersei, because if she wasn't fucking Jaime, and if she wasn't pushing Bran out of the castle, and if she didn't kill the first hand... Then Jon Arryn, which almost undoubtedly was her, then Ned would still be in Winterfell, and Robb would still have his right hand, and you try to argue that it was Robert's fault for looking into his kids, but
Jon Arryn's fault for looking into Robert's kids.
Looking into Rob, but I'm not. It's Cersei. Cersei's the most at fault person here, at least at the moment.
About Littlefinger.
For what? Nah, he's just making a power play. I don't call it. I mean, he's playing the hand that he's got. I wouldn't call him most at fault for his death.
Do you think Ned's nobility was, I don't want to say stupid, but unwise in a place as treacherous as King's Landing? One of the things I wrote down in the last episode was a very specific line that when Ned was talking to Varys, he said, "I don't know what you want." That's a problem.
Yeah.
In a place like King's Landing, where knowledge, knowing what people want, you can see how Tyrion is really good at manipulating people because he knows what people want.
Yeah, he knows what their motivations are.
He knows that Bronn wants sex and women. Sex and gold. Yeah. He knows that the Hill tribes want respect in the Vale. People that know things are able to manipulate a little bit better.
And to get people to do things.
A noble person like Ned going straight into the job, it's because he was keeping his hand in the open.
He represents, and this is what I feel like people fight with, and I like what the show's tackling, is that ignorant nobility or righteousness is stupid and is gonna lead to your downfall. Evil and wrongdoing will always surpass ignorance when met with nobility and with righteousness and with morality. But in Tyrion's perspective, that's one of the parts that I really like about Tyrion, even though he does do necessarily not things that aren't as noble, understanding how to work with and around people and not being as ignorant. There are a lot of situations that Ned handled very poorly, that he could have kept his nobility and kept his morality, and just handled the situation not as ignorantly as he did, and is passive. I feel like a lot of it is that they're passive almost until they're forced into a situation, and then he loses it, and then he loses everything.
Yeah, and Ned just was taking everybody at face value. Littlefinger said he was going to help me because he likes cat. Not thinking, oh wait, he likes cats.
Yeah, exactly, the entire time. And so you have to keep and I feel like that was always Ned's downfall. I didn't think it was going to lead to his downfall this quickly, but I felt like eventually it would lead to him. It's been his issue, is that his trustingness and his ignorance and just his soldierness, if you will, and so that though is something that I like 'cause on Ned 2.0, aka Rob, his son, doesn't have and is much more in his own and is much more confident with his own decision making and with understanding people's motives and understanding how to manipulate situations. I mean, he's leading an entire army, and so I feel like as much as that was Ned's downfall, Ned kind of gave him all his positives, and then Rob continued even more so. So I feel like Rob's going to be
a more perfect version of
Ned, and I feel like the most perfect version of Ned is going to be John eventually, is what I'm foreshadowing, and I feel like he's going to be the step in for the downfalls that Rob had, and I feel like when Rob dies way down the line eventually, if he dies, but I don't think he's going to make it to the newest season, I feel like then that will be John's. I feel like they're just kind of stepping over, what each of their own issues were, but I feel like Ned, I mean, I don't feel like there's no reason for nobility. I feel like there is reason for nobility. It's just you can't couple that with ignorance and with face valueness.
Cool. I think that's good for before the episode. Let's get into the finale for Season 1, Episode 10.
That's my grandfather, Lord Rickard. He was burned alive by the Mad King Ares. That's Lyanna, my father's sister. King Robert was supposed to marry her, but Rhaegar Targaryen kidnapped her. Robert started a war to win her back. He killed Rhaegar, but she died anyway. That's where I saw father.
You see? He's not here.
I'll kill them all. Every one of them. I'm gonna kill them all.
They have your sisters. We have to get the girls back. And then we will kill them all. No, please, no!
This one's your father. This one here. Look at it and see what happens to traitors.
He promised to be merciful.
I was. I gave him a clean death. Look at him.
How long do I have to look?
As long as it pleases me. After I raise my armies and kill your traitor brother, I'm going to give you his head as well.
Or maybe he'll give me yours.
My mother tells me a king should never strike his lady. Sir Meryn.
It was the dragons we bowed to, and now the dragons are dead. There sits the only king I mean to bend my knee to. The King of the North! I'll have peace on those terms. They can keep their red castle. And their iron chair too. The King in the North.
Am I your brother? Now and always.
Now and always.
My sword is yours, in victory and defeat, from this day until my last day.
The King of the North! The King of the North! The King of the North! The King of the North!
I was like, oh, King of the North.
slip out of that gown and we'll see if I'm up to it.
Oh.
I do like a violent woman.
I will kill you tonight, sir. Pack your head in a box and send it to your sister.
Let me show you how. Hit me again, over the ear, and again and again. You're stronger than you look, Untitled.
That is what you want the world to believe, isn't it? That you don't fear death.
But a dumb lady. The dark is coming for all of us. Why are you frown about it?
Because you are going to the deepest of the 7 hells if the gods are just.
What gods are those? The trees your husband prayed to? Where were the trees when his head was getting chopped off? If your gods are real, and if they're just, why is the world so full of injustice?
Because of men like you.
There are no men like me. Only me.
Have we captured Robb Stark yet?
Is that our
What's the
cousin?
next
now?
move?
Stop talking.
What the fuck?
Get back into bed.
What the hell is wrong with
My
this?
son. You were right about Eddard Stark. If he were alive, we could have used him to broker a peace with Winterfell and River Run. Which would have given us more time to deal with Robert's brothers. But now, madness. Madness and stupidity. I always thought you were a stunted fool. Perhaps I was wrong.
Half wrong. I'm new to strategy, but unless we want to be surrounded by 3 armies, it appears we can't stay here.
You will go to King's Landing.
And do what?
Rule. You will serve as Hand of the King in my stead. You will bring that boy king to heel and his mother too, if needs be. And if you get so much as a whiff of treason from any of the rest, Baelish, Varys, Pycelle...
Head spikes walls. Why not my uncle? Why not anyone? Why me?
You're my son.
Where is he?
The boy did not live.
Tell me.
What is there to tell?
How did my son die?
He never lived, my princess. The women say.
What do the women say?
They say the child was...
Monstrous. Twisted. I pulled him up myself. He was scaled like a lizard. Blind, with leather wings like the wings of a bat. When I touched him, the skin fell from his bones. Inside, he was full of grave worms. I warned you that only death can pay for life. You knew the price.
Where is Khal Drogo? Show him to me. Show me what I bought with my son's life. Why is he out here alone?
He seems to like the warmth, princess.
He lives. You asked for life. You paid for life.
This is not life. When will he be as he was?
When the sun rises in the west, sets in the east. When the seas go dry, when the mountains blow in the wind like leaves. 3 of those riders had already raped me before you saved me, girl. I saw my God's house burn. There where I had healed men and women, beyond counting. In the streets I saw piles of heads. The head of a baker who makes my bread. The head of a young boy that I cured of fever just 3 months past. So, tell me again exactly what it was that you saved.
Your life.
Why don't you take a look at your Khal? Then you will see exactly what life is worth. when all the rest has gone.
Sam told us everything. We're sorry about your father.
But it doesn't matter. You took the oath, you can't leave.
I have to.
You can't. You said the words. I don't care
Hear
about...
my words and bear witness to my vow.
To hell with all of you.
Night gathers, and now my watch begins. It shall not end until my death. I shall live and die at my post.
I am the sword in the darkness.
The watcher on the walls, the shield that guards the realms of men. I pledge my life and honor to the Night's Watch, for this night and all nights to come.
I was pretending to be weak.
You better give me that sword!
You want it? Give it to you. I already killed one fat boy. I bet you never killed anyone. I bet you're a liar. But I'm not. I'm good at killing fat boys. I like killing fat boys.
Oh, you like picking on the little ones, do you? You know, I've been hammering anvil these past 10 years. When I hit that steel, it sings. You gonna sing when I hit you? This is Castle Forge steel. Where'd you steal it?
It was a gift.
It don't matter now. Where we're going, they don't care what you've done. You've got rapers, pickpockets, highwaymen, murderers.
Which are you?
Armourer's apprentice.
Oh yeah, what's his name?
But my master got sick of me, so here I am.
Honor made you leave. Honor brought you back.
My friends brought me back.
I didn't say it was your honor.
They killed my father.
Oh, and you're going to bring him back to life, are you? No? Good. We've had enough of that sort of thing. Because I want you and your wolf with us when we ride out beyond the wall tomorrow.
Beyond the wall?
I'll not sit meekly by and wait for the snows. I mean to find out what's happening. The Night's Watch will ride in force against the Wildings, the White Walkers, and whatever else is out there. And we will find Benjen Stark, alive or dead. I will command them myself. So I'll only ask you once, Lord Snow. Are you a brother of the Night's Watch? Or a bastard boy who wants to play at war?
I know what you intend. Do not.
I must. You don't understand.
Don't ask me to stand aside as you climb on that pyre. I won't watch you burn.
Is that what you fear? I am Daenerys Stormborn, of House Targaryen, of the blood of old Valyria. I am the dragon's daughter, and I swear to you that those who would harm you will die screaming.
You will not hear me scream.
I will. But it's not your screams I want. Only your life.
What the heck? What?
Not of my blood.
2? 3? There's 3?
3 dragon eggs.
Jesus!
Gosh, she's so hot.
That's 3 dragons? 3 dragon eggs.
That's the Targaryen song.
Wow. Wow. So there's dragons again.
End of season 1.
Oh my gosh. You know what I'm talking about? Magic. There's dragons. There's zombies. Things are slowly
Like I said,
happening.
it was a slow burn as far as, like, you know, they wanted to ease you into, like, the politics and, like, getting you to learn everybody.
Yeah, and now there's all kinds of other stuff going on. Wow. That's so crazy. Well, good for her. But also, wow, she burned the chick alive. Like, that changes my...
And Khal Drogo.
Yeah, she did kill him. Did she know, though? Was it assumed that she knew the dragons were going to come? If she...
You guys might be able to tell me a little bit more about that. I mean, she knew that there was a magic in her blood, and
that she could be
I
burned.
don't know what the exact intention of
her going into the fire.
Putting the eggs there were, but there is. I think specifically in the book, her fire immunity is only in like magical situations like this. It's not like an all the time thing.
I got you.
But again,
it seemed like the other place was in the show. It seems like it's an all the time thing.
Right.
But also, it seemed like she was kind of deciding between living out a peaceful life with money or going for glory and getting dragons. But like, I didn't foreshadow that. But it seems like now that was kind of like the tug of war that she was dealing with. So I guess maybe she did know. I didn't know that there were going to be dragons coming out of those things at all.
Right.
I thought they were just going to be surprised and she was finally going to show that she had powers, but I think 3 dragons were going to come out of that. That's so cool. I mean,
who needs an army when you got 3 dragons?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Now Khal Drogo is dead, and now there's 3 dragons, so she has a whole new power source.
Well, they're still...
Well, yeah. But I'm assuming they're going to get, you know... I mean, that's what they're... Those are tiny little baby dragons. Wow, those are so crazy, though.
Yeah. So, from Kaja Budna, thoughts on Jon Snow's attempts to desert, and what would you have done?
I would have left. I would have left.
You would have been beheaded.
Yeah, I know. I would have said that, like... Part of me would have felt like, you know, understanding like the White Walkers coming and like there being a winter coming and these zombies and understanding that, but then part of me is like, well, I'd still rather be with my family fighting that than on a wall. Like, because then this is the thing you have to understand too, is that let's say he does stay, and right now I'm sure everything will work out, there's still a serious chance that Joffrey could just decide that he doesn't want any ties at all to Ned and just say that he needs to be beheaded and what you're just supposed to do, take that sitting down? Like, so as much as I'm happy with the way the story is going with that side of it and understanding, I think if I was put in the same position, you have to trust your own gut and you have to make your own destiny. I feel like I would have just left still and said, you know, I hope you guys, and I was a positive part of your guys' life, Sam and those other 2 guys, but you know, I have a sister and family to look after, so.
Rita Pereira, are you excited that Arya and Gendry are going to the Wall to meet up with Jon Snow?
Yes, that's gonna be awesome. So at least that's gonna be happening, and the Siege is strong. We're gonna find out maybe what that has to do with Gendry, and so
it had to do with his black hair.
Oh, okay, that was okay. I didn't know if that keeps we'll see what Gendry has, you know, because I mean already he's defending Arya and kind of the protector, and so.
And Gloria Chan, speaking of Arya, wants to know if Arya's training will be a boon or a bane. I mean, like, good for her in the long run.
So good for her. I mean, thank God that happened, and she'll be able to defend herself around all these boys. And eventually, when she's with Jon, then she'll be able to, you know, take on whatever role there. But yeah, at least she's safe and away from everybody else, because it was not safe for her being at King's Landing at all. Obviously, as Sansa can attest to that.
Yeah. From Jeremiah Connor, again, we had a few questions at the end of episode 9. what do you think was going through the Hound's head when he stopped Sansa from pushing Joffrey off the ledge?
I don't know, man. That was a. I questioned that during it too, because it seemed genuine, and it seemed like he was trying to be helpful, but I don't get at all what his play is there. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. That one's got me. I'm not sure about that one, because I don't see what he would even. He was intimidating, quiet, and mean, and brooding, and this entire time I don't see what he would on any level have any loyalty to Sansa, or to make sure that she was okay, or unless on a creepy level he likes her or something. I'm praying it's not like that, but I didn't see that look in his eyes or anything like that, so I don't know what his motive would be behind keeping her, because I don't think he has any loyalty to Sansa whatsoever, and so I don't know. That one's like I'm curious to see what happens with that.
What are your thoughts on? I think. Do you agree with Jorah as to, like, was it a stupid idea to bring a pregnant woman into the tent of the demons and shit like that?
Yeah, that was dumb.
Stillborn baby.
Yeah,
that had like leathery wings like a bat.
Yeah, and there was just like a monster apparently, and so I guess it died though, didn't it?
It wasn't even born. Like
it was already.
It was stillborn.
Yeah, it was a demon child, and I feel like. It was a mistake, but then I guess it's pushed her to where she's at now, because if that wasn't happening and didn't happen, who knows where she'd be at. So I guess in essence she's better for it. She's got 3 little baby dragons and a loyal army brooding and and building behind her, but I don't think that was the best decision after getting told not to.
And then Movie Lover 18 wants to know your thoughts on the witch. Like, do you think the witch was actually trying to, or do you?
No, she definitely was not trying to help. She also was letting her make her own mistakes. I feel like because it's not like she did anything to kill her or do anything like in spite, but she also didn't warn her, so she let her be her own downfall. But she made a good point. Like, I guess that the victors always get to write their own stories, but if you look at it, if we were watching it from the beginning of her own show, and these marauders came in and started killing and raping everyone, and then this random queen saved them, and
she's pregnant,
and
with
you find out
was
was
going to...
that's gonna continue to rule the nations and kill, and then I'm sure they're still getting mistreated the entire time and treated as slaves, even though they're not. And so I feel like understandably on her side of it. And then that's why my point is that I lost a little bit of like tied to Daenerys. It's like, as much as I can see her understanding, where's Daenerys? Like, as much as everyone is on Daenerys' side, I feel like at this moment, if they're watching the show and like happy that she's coming her own, what are you even doing? Like, I get it's selfish. Like, it's not selfish, but it is. Like, I get she's carrying her name, but like, and she at one point was making the best of her situation because of what her brother did to her, but at this point, like, she's doing all of this horrible stuff and probably going to continue to do a lot more horrible stuff purely on, I guess she still thinks that Robert could kill her at any point and still fears her life, because I don't think she thinks Robert's even dead, but everything she's doing now is just for her own self-interest and her own benefit. Like, there's no, like, cause for her. You get my point? She's not doing it for a family. She's not doing it for her.
What specifically are you referencing? Because like she loved Khal Drogo. Like she was trying to use the blood magic to bring him back to life.
Right, but I'm saying is that now when she killed that lady, and now whatever she does after this, which she has 3 dragons, I'm assuming she's going to do something with them, like, it is not going to be anything but in vengeance. But not towards really anyone that should get any of her vengeance necessarily, because, yeah, that witch technically did kill her newborn and her Khal Drogo, but she pushed her into that position, and Khal Drogo put her in that position, and if you really look back to it, she was the one who pushed to go across to even go fight, and they would never have needed.
She was pushing, but Drogo did say, no, it's not going to happen. The thing that pushed Drogo over the edge was the assassination attempt on Daenerys.
Yeah, and this
Like,
actually
that's when he got like all hyped up and was like, all right, yeah, we're gonna kill them.
No, yeah, no, and that's true. But I mean, it's still, not. I mean, I'm not like necessarily abandoning the fact that I like Daenerys because I still do. It's just, it's my views changed on her a little bit. It's not. There's no calling to act. There's no call to action with her. It's just her now. And so,
well, you said there was no call for vengeance, but like, there's still the people that overthrew her parents in Westeros.
Yeah, but then if you look at that, then what were her parents doing? You know what I'm saying? So that's what the show I like about it is that there's so many angles to everything that like you kind of have to analyze it from what everybody's motivations. And so, yeah, her motivation was that she got overthrown and that her family was viciously murdered and her brother was raping her and like gave her to this random call. But then he raped her and then she grew to love him, but. He also just won her because he was going to give an army and, forced her into a love marriage. And then she loves him and was doing it all for him, which, I was on board for. But it's like, even then she was, made a couple rash decisions that she necessarily shouldn't have that led to her son's death, understandably. But then it's like, where does it lie? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, could she have left and then kept her son alive and then somewhere else possibly and... instead of staying and trying to save the cow, or was it for sure her love for him, or was it necessarily like she knew that her only way to get back home with, and where she needed to go? Because I mean, at the end of the day, she still was talking about sitting on the throne and going back home and stuff like that. She still wanted to, even before getting an attempt.
I still think she loved him.
I'm personally. And I think she did, but also I feel like there's just. It's taken my motivation from her away a little bit. It's just there's no. Okay. It's simply her at this point. So if you like her and she wants to go back and seek this vengeance, then it's like that's my point. But if not, it's her own interest, of going back home and taking back the throne.
So
not to rule, but
you are done with season 1. Someone asked what you thought was the most epic scene. Let's just ask, which episode do you like the most, and what do you think was the most epic moment in the season?
Oh man, well obviously that most epic part of the season was Ned dying. Dragons coming into it was pretty big too, though. Yeah. I mean, that's a huge difference maker, especially when 2
really big game changers. Even though she's on a different continent.
There's 3 of them, which means I don't even know how that works with breeding, or if they could be more dragons now just because there's 3 of them. I don't know how that works, but that's a whole nother situation. The knights or the men of the Night Watch leaving was a big part. Now going across and they're gonna figure something out. So there's gonna be flourishing in the new season, probably first episode. And I'm hoping. Then I would still say Ned would be number 1 for me. That was so sad.
Okay, with that in mind, Coldfire wants to know which storyline you are most invested in right now. Because there's Bran, Rickon, and Osha, and Hodor in Winterfell, and Master Luwin in Winterfell. Yeah. There's Robb Stark's army.
Right.
There's Stannis Baratheon. Well, you haven't met Stannis yet, but Loras, you hear that they're gathering their armies.
Yeah. There's that side of it. There's Tywin, and there's Tyrion.
Tyrion, just King's Landing in general.
Yeah.
There's the Wall.
I would say the Wall probably, just because I'm
Daenerys.
Daenerys. Well, that's a huge turn of events, but I wouldn't have said Daenerys.
Well, the question specifically is which storyline are you most invested in?
Oh, invested total in? I guess invested in Robb's, but only because I think they kind of made us. But most curious too, I think is Jon's, just because like you said, who cares who sits on the throne when there's this other, they built this other doom coming. The White Walkers coming, such a big thing. I've only seen a little bit of them, and they seem like they wrecked house pretty good, especially if they hunt at night. And so, I feel like I'm most excited for that side of it, and to see what happens with that. Plus, Jon is my favorite character, and so especially now that Ned's dead. But I feel like invested in it just because we've seen the time, and it's the most imminent of everything going on. I feel like it's Robb. I'm most invested in Robb's storyline right now and getting Sansa saved and Arya secured.
Mini Holmesy. Tyrion is going to be Hand of the King.
Ooh, that's going to be interesting because he also hit Joffrey a while ago in the
correct.
episode.
And Hands of the King are
a difficult position to have.
Yeah, they're not. It's not been a very steady position as of late.
No, and I'm curious to see how that is going to play out, and especially him being his uncle, and especially with Joffrey being as quick-handed as he is, and especially if his job is to then corral Joffrey, is insane. Like, I don't get why Tywin wouldn't just.
Well, Tywin is the Hand of the King. He told Tyrion
In his stead.
he was going to go to King's Land, and act as Hand of the King in his stead. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so I mean, for the moment being, it's going to be rough, but I mean, eventually, if Tywin can get to the King's Landing and be the Hand of the King, I feel like he's going to be just for me. I'm sure he could get Joffrey to listen. Like, it doesn't seem like
he does command. He's got a presence.
Well, he's also
he can get Jaime to kind of just be like, okay, yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, he's also the most powerful man, in my opinion, in this entire show, and compared to the other ones, not collectively against everyone else, but just like if it's just him. So I feel like that, has a huge play. Plus, I feel like I haven't seen his relationship with Cersei, but I feel like he respects her as like the strongest out of his children, and I feel like maybe when they're together, it'll be more of a stronger force, even so, as like a negative force. Not like I'm saying I'm rooting for them, but I feel like when they're all together. But yeah, Tyrion, that's going to be interesting. It's going to be, I feel like, but he's going to help in a positive way for, I guess, the viewers' like motive, because I feel like he'll be able to work his way around Joffrey's crazy rule.
Good. And this is the third time you've seen Bran with the vision of like the Raven or the
going down in the tunnel. I don't know what all that is. I mean, especially with maybe they'll just all start having visions of Ned, and like Ned will be able to continue to like talk to them or something. But
Rickon said he did see him in there, and it was like shortly after, like right before they found out that Ned had actually died.
Right, exactly. So I don't know if there's going to be some type of like ghost type thing where he's talking to them, or like I don't.
You're getting ready to just go all supernatural and magic right now.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea where this show is.
There's dragons, there's blood magic. Screw it, ghosts.
There's ghosts too. Ned comes out as a ghost. I don't know, but
there is a ghost. Jon Snow's direwolf.
Oh yeah, ghost. Yeah. So I don't really know what that down there has to do. I mean, maybe I'm sure they have to find something, but I don't know what they would have to find, nor what has to do with the Raven. And I think they all know now that he died, and so
yeah. And they went a little bit slightly into like why the war started.
Yeah, talking about it going through and everything on the back of Ned's sister and all that, and then the original, which was cool, had a direwolf right next to him on that when he was sitting down. Ned's father, was it?
Rickard Stark.
Yeah, Rickard Stark. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know what the because they both are having visions, I'm assuming, of Ned. So, or at least down there, at least. So I don't know what it has to play with down there.
Cool. And yeah, I think that. So, if you like, with the way that this season ended, you kind of have, there was obviously episode 9 was the climax.
Right.
This was like the denouement, if you will.
Yeah, like that.
And so, but they're setting things up for season 2. Given that there's still 50 episodes left,
oh my gosh,
what do you foresee in the next 10 episodes?
Oh man, so much has came and gone.
Because there's a lot of show left.
Yeah,
there's a lot of show left.
And the craziest part about it is the things that I was basing this show to be about are not. And so I don't even know if I know this show anymore. I really thought for a second there, I was like, I see what all this is going.
I got this. Oh yeah.
Not even kinda. And so
it's like, yeah. Arya's going to knock Ned out of jail, and he's going to join up with Rob and Jon. And just kill the
pretty confident that was going to happen, and that didn't even, obviously. Arya's going to the wall, and Ned's dead. So not what I foreshadowed, but I guess to give an answer.
All right. Well, how about just like each individual storyline? So Robb Stark, where do you see him going in season 2?
On the either throne or death. His destiny will be met at King's Landing.
Because he's the king of the North.
He's the king of the North,
which is kind of a so many years ago. Aegon the Conqueror came with 3 dragons and took over Westeros.
With 3 dragons?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
It's kind of like a Targaryen thing. It's almost always in 3s.
Yeah.
And at that time, everyone had to bend the knee. There was 7 different kings, and everyone except the Martells bowed down to them, and it was the first time a king in the North had ever bowed down to anyone. And so, like that Stark was known as like the king who knelt.
Mm-hmm.
The Martells didn't bow; they just married into the Targaryen line.
Mm-hmm.
So, like they so their house sigil is like unbowed, unbent, unbroken, or something like that.
Mm.
So, because they never had to bow to the king because they married into it.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, like there, it used to just be like Warden of the West, Warden of the North, Warden of the East. You know, so Ned Stark was the Warden of the North. Tywin, the Lannisters are the Wardens of the West.
I got you.
You know, so there's, but now they're just declaring King of the North, which has not happened in hundreds of years.
Oh, so yeah, so that means
that's actually kind of a big deal. Like, it's like a thing like the North remembers. You know, like the whole like there must always be a Stark in Winterfell.
Yeah,
like.
Because it was the Starks originally.
Yeah, the Starks have been 1,000 years.
Jesus. So yeah, I feel like he'll either be, he's gonna find some. Maybe they start ruling their own selves, and there's no King's. Maybe King's Landing gets disbanded, and it's just like separate armies. But I feel like either way, he's gonna come into his own at King's Landing in that battle, whether he dies, whether he overthrows, and is in some level of in control. But maybe he then gets there and decides and tells everyone that there's no more rule and that everyone rules their own areas. And
now, what about Stannis and Renly?
Yeah, they're gonna go for the kingdom, and I feel
together
like
or separate.
Separate, and Renly is gonna do it with somebody else. Because he doesn't have I don't know these other people.
The Tyrells?
The Tyrells, yeah. I don't really know the Tyrells, so I don't know how much of an army they have, but I know that he's going to have to.
If you remember the scene where they were shaving him, they made a point to say that the Tyrells are very, very rich, and he's like, "You're not as rich as a Lannister." He's like, "I'm way more rich than you."
Oh, okay, yeah.
So the Tyrells are. He could be like, he's like, "You should be king. My father could be your bank."
I see. So yeah. So then he might come with. So he'll probably come with the Tyrells. Then there'll be the Lannisters. Then there'll be the Baratheons, led by Stannis. Then there'll be Robb leading the North, and yeah, those will be the and then there'll be Robb leading Jon leading the Night Watch against the White Walkers. But I feel like it's going to kind of start being around more like those different, than it being just one ruler. As it was, or even though Joffrey right now.
So everything is kind of converging on King's Landing, right?
Yeah, everything's kind of converging on King's Landing. It's like the big epicenter for what will ever go down.
And given that the dragons are still really young, what do you see with Daenerys in this next season?
I don't see, this is the thing, I don't know how long, to be 100% truthful, I don't know how long dragons like age or how quickly dragons age, so it could be like they're full like difference makers in like 3 episodes, or it could be that they're a couple seasons away from being. So I don't it's still.
Yeah, it like hers is kind of like the most open right now because she's on a completely different continent. She's like very disengaged from everyone else.
Yeah, I can't tell if this is like a quiet rumble that's just showing like the beginning of an entire nation, or if it's like this is like the rebels that are collecting. And now she's got 3 dragons, and like they're gonna grow really fast to at least be like human size pretty soon, and like. Or I don't really know how, because like all these new different types of like factors are coming in. So like there's like dark magic now that I like blood magic that's like what you could apparently bring back lives and stuff like that. And that's just one lady who knows
life.
Yeah, you could what's life anyways? Yeah, and so there's that, and then there's the White Walkers and all that going on and. So I don't really know, but I mean she's gonna come. She's gonna be a force to reckon with. I mean, like you said with the other dragons. I mean, on some level, she's gonna come with them and come hard with people too. And so,
cool.
That'll be a whole nother dynamic too as well.
So thoughts on season 1?
Amazing, like such a great season. it's ripped me to shreds.
Was there any
exhausted.
episode that you felt was just like slower than others, or
no, because I mean, yeah, I guess if you look in terms of like fighting, but if you're actually paying attention to like character development and plot information,
everything is really important.
Every single second is important. If you miss one part, you can miss an entire section. And the cool part about it is that you got so many storylines all going on at once that, you know, if you pay attention to all of them, it's one beautiful piece of art. But if you lose one of them, then it seems almost things don't make sense. And there's like, but if you keep it all as one big picture and like kind of just move the pieces along each time, then and everyone's motivations along too, it's really cool to watch. Like the progressions of everything, and like then things happening make more of an impact too, because it's like, oh my god, then what does that mean for this? And so, you know, Ned dying wasn't necessarily just because I like Ned, but what that means for the rest of the show, what that means for the rest of the
Ned
show.
never made your top 3. Don't even.
Yeah, it wasn't even just that sad because I love Ned that much, but just, you know, the pure fact that, like, what does that mean for Sansa? What does that mean for Arya? What does that mean for Catelyn? What does that mean for Robb is now leader and King of the North?
Yeah,
so
like, you get invested in all these characters.
You're in the middle of the web, and when something snaps, you feel it. And so,
even
if
Ned wasn't one of your favorite characters, like that, it's a visceral. Your reaction is like a visceral, just
because you're
like,
so used to him already, and it's so crazy to just
and,
have.
And it just like goes against like all the normal, you know, tropes of movies.
All of
and
the tropes,
TV.
and it shakes life.
Yeah.
At its bones. But no, this first season has been amazing. I can't wait for all the crazy surprises next season and what that turns out to be, and where these dragons go, and how Tywin plays into all this. Now that I'm just learning about Tywin, he's a really cool character, and I love Tyrion, and you know how he's going to continue to play out with all that, and Robb coming into his own as Ned 2.0. And Arya going and meeting with Jon, and you know they already had a close relationship. I mean, he was the one who gave her the sword, and she'll still have it. And, you know, so that them, and he'll be able to protect her. And granted, I feel like she's the strongest tie to me right now, so I want to keep her the safest.
Hey, two of your favorite characters.
Two of my favorite characters are in one place. Let's just keep it safe, guys. And so then there's them, and then. Hopefully Joffrey gets dethroned. Let's just pray for that.
Season 2?
Yeah, they let him sneak away in this episode, but hopefully he gets dethroned. Season 2, what he gets coming. He deserves to get coming to him. But yeah, this was an amazing season, and I like the timing. They have a really cool way of controlling the pace. They'll speed it up, slow it down, emphasize, de-emphasize, minimalize, maximize, and so I like their constant adjustment to how you're actually viewing what's going on in time during the show. It's got a really whole feel to it, which is cool.
All right.
Amazing. So amazing.
Well, I'm going to let this summer teenager go right now.
Like I'm growing up in front of you guys. I was so innocent.
Little boy.
I was so innocent. I feel like Bran when they watched that guy's head get chopped off. I was just like, oh.
Yeah, it's just like, or Sansa. How long do I have?
How long do I have to?
How long do I have to?
I'm such a little piece of shit.
So again, thank you guys very much. Like, comment, subscribe, and we're actually going to be. Well, this video will already be up, so we'll have already watched episodes 1 and 2 by the time this video comes up, because we're watching in 2 days. We'll just keep barreling through and hope that we can maintain this pace all the way to season 7.
Amen.
All right, later, guys.
Thank you, guys.